Hi guys, for today's teardown, yes, one other masterpiece of my collection, which is a fresh eBay find, this. So we have here an STTA ER-197A, made in 1968, received in 1970, and made by Le Matériel Téléphonique, or LMT. So what do we have here? It is a military aircraft IFF transponder. So I did research Google for it, for any information, and I did find only one web page from Aviation Fans Forum, which just states it did exist and was used in several military aircraft over time. And they also say it was made to be used with this control box I happen to have, the BC328A, and I have a teardown video of this box, and the forum thread actually links to my teardown video, so I will link it in the video description. So we have this box. It is some kind of a rack kind of box for aircraft mount. You can see the regular attachment points here. We have fuses, a test button, power supply input, main control connector and antenna connector, plus all these BNCs in color code. So I believe IFF transponders work with a cryptographic device. So this may be the connections to the cryptographic equipment. I do not think we have cryptographic equipment in this, but it is full of stuff, so I do not really know. So we have trigger out, sup in, no idea what it is, suppressor maybe, in and out, rep in probably repeater, disp in maybe display, rec out must be for receiver output, trigger in and video out. I believe it is the main crypto information this. And we have here mode selectors button, and it is, excuse me, mode 2 from 0 to 7, each one you can select. Okay, so it is all what you have on this side. So it is just a box. Here on the back, one cooling hole, probably made to fit a forced cooling air duct in the Avionics rack, and some old, very old power transistor. So I will peel the skin and we will have a first look inside. So it is actually made of several parts, the box. We have these fasteners here. Here I saw a whole bunch of them. And here on this side I have screws to undo. Just 2 screws, so it will be quite fast. I did already replace these screws because they were really worn out. And on the back side, more screws. You can see they are not all populated for now, because as I was going to do the teardown, it was necessary to reinstall all the screws. So you can expect to have quite a lot of stuff in this, including high frequency stuff, including maybe some power stuff for transmitting. And given it is early 70s design, we may have a vacuum tube inside for transmitting. So this will be very interesting to see. So here we are. I first lift this side here. Here just a panel. So all the parts have these contact springs to make good contact and shielding probably. We have this other side. No, first I need to remove the already inside bottom panel, and then the side panel, if I do not forget one, the fastener. Here we are. So, what do we have? First, bottom view, you can see the card cage with very nice wire looms. Power supply unit here, which is very simple in fact. Here we have all the very good high frequency stuff. As you can see, so I need to zoom for you a little bit. So I will need to remove all this for further examination. And here we have card cage. So how will we proceed? First I will mount the camera overhead. We will first have an overview at everything. Then I will show you all the circuit boards. Then I will show you the power supply. And we will finish with the high frequency parts here, which I will need to pull out of the box. Okay, so I will be right back. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, it is very big and it covers the whole area of my camera. So here we have a number of circuit boards. Some of them are duplicate. And we have two missing boards maybe. So either they were unpopulated options, or they have been removed during demilitarization of a device. Here we have what I guess may be receiver unit with shielded units with a number of transistors mounted on it, and they are actually socketed transistors. We will see it later. We have here the high frequency section with unidirectional line here, this unit here, so I hope it will be possible to see inside. And here obviously the main power section for transmitting, made of solid aluminium, so it is a heatsink with, I believe we may have a power transmitting vacuum tube in here. Bottom side, the power supply and all the cards connectors. As you can see, very nice wiring everywhere. Here we have a number of test points. And here we have this little box, which is actually, I believe, the power input for the device. Yes, in fact, here we have power connector and some filters, coil here, another one at the bottom, capacitor here, pass-through capacitor here. All this in a silver coated brass box, spare no expense. You can see, let me just reinstall it real quick. Okay, so here on the front, the back side of the fuse holders, the push button thing, test button thing, shielded military relay, the back of the main connector, and here the coax to the antenna connector. Here we have this power supply unit, which I will undo right now because why not. So So it is a modular construction for this power supply for all the high frequency parts, plus the cards, but all the other parts are pretty well attached to the case, as you can see. So it is quite weird because in fact you can see there is only one plug going to this power supply, and it is only a 9-pin plug, and in the wire loom here I see 3, maybe 4 wires only, and there is no other connection to this power supply box. And we have a 115 volts 400 Hz input, and actually this and actually at the same time 27 volts DC. So we must have some power conversion here, but the main power supply is external of the device. So this is interesting. So I will try to remove this power supply brick. As you can see, it is written PS1, very convenient. So those 4 screws, and it should pop right out. And in fact, this kind of construction here with modules like this is very common, and also it reminds me some Russian-made equipment with the same kind of design. In particular for the box with all the transistors at the top. I will show you how similar it is to some Russian-made stuff maybe. So screw, 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 screw. And it will just lift out. As you can see, we have a transformer, we have capacitors, not much else, but we will open it later. So here you can have a better look at the cooling air input. This part here is attached with 2 long screws we will remove, but for now we will check the circuit boards. So as always, to remove these circuit boards you need to find the proper tool, which is not always easy, and you are given small holes to pull the circuit boards. Here is the first one. So we will go through each different model of board. You can see on this one lot of parallel things, stages. We have each time one capacitor, resistor, diode, capacitor. Here one 2N2004 transistor by Texas Instruments. Very heavy conformal coating, as you can see. The connector is quite weird with this kind of fork pieces. And backside very old school PCB design, as you can see. There is something written here, Comelim, maybe the manufacturer of a PCB itself. We have what seems to be a serial number here, and more numbers stamped on the side. So I have no clue if any of these cards should be related to anything cryptographic. Next one. Let me reinstall. Okay, here we have very nice capacitors. So as you can see, we will not have any integrated circuit in this thing. Only transistors and passive parts. Okay, let me grab the next model of card. This one maybe. Yes. So this one we have 2 similar ones. here more lots of capacitors and resistors, each time driven by a QN708 transistor. Backside. Next card. This one has something interesting. As you can see, we have this big black box, which might be a delay line. Yes, totally. It is written 1.3 microseconds and impedance here of 1000 ohms. Pretty big box, 10 centimeters long or something like this. Next card. This one. So here what do we have? Trimmer and always the same kind of parts. As you can see, in fact they are quite boring because we do not have anything very special. Maybe here on this one we have what is it? Some kind of transformer, maybe pocket transformer made by Torotel. Smaller connector on this one. This also may be a pocket transformer or coil, and two trimmers made by Omic, and always exactly the same kind of components. Look at this, this is very old school, guys. Tubular ceramic capacitors here and here, really not something you see often. And this is also cute. Look at this one with the blue thing with the 1000 written on it. Not something you see every day. Okay. Next PCB we have here little bit different stuff. We have power, well, transistor with heatsink, two power thyristor or triax or something. They are 3-leg devices. Yes, you can see the logo here of a controlled diode. Our electrolytic capacitors here in this very interesting package. As you can see, they did put a plastic sleeve over them and they did seal it with some epoxy. For some reason, they are the Promisic brand. And here very nice shielded hermetic military capacitors. Oh, here we have something, seems like maybe a germanium diode. Okay, it is all for this side of the card cage. We continue with the other side. This one is pretty simple. As you can see, most of the space is blank, but we have more trimmers. So I did not find any information and I have no clue of anything about how this works, sorry. So this one is very heavily conformal coated with exactly the same components set. I'll show why this one is so heavily coated. Next one, still the same thing, except we have longer capacitors here. Fantastic. Here we have more of the same stuff. Very nice row of capacitors on the diodes here. Then more of the same stuff except for one more delay line here. made by Sprague, this one. Quite nice. Then, guess what? More of the same stuff. I have to find out where this one is installed. Okay. No, it does not fit. Here maybe. Okay. So you have this one. Then at least something little bit different. On this one we have the coax connected on it, which may be the coax coming from the receiver side, or maybe both receiver and transmitter, not sure. And it is connected inside this little box. Let's try to see if it is possible to open it. Yes, very old school air mount parts here, as you can see. This part cover is very heavy, it is brass or maybe even copper. And we have very old school coils here, like you could find in old televisions. Very long screw for this cover, by the way. Okay, and at least the last PCB, this one may be some kind of power supply related, maybe. As you can see, we have a Sprague toroidal transformer, some bigger resistors here. Looks like this one was replaced, as you can see. Yes, oh, this card was hot at some point. The conformer coating is completely gone, and we have some pretty serious burn marks here. More transistors, more capacitors here. So this one did hit quite a lot. Also, this trimmer here was replaced with a much newer design one, as you can see, a spectral one. But oddly enough, probably it was the same pinout, because they did not modify the tracks or anything here. Interesting. But you can see the remains of the pattern of the old part, with even these little spacers here. You can see here. Okay, so this was fascinating. Now the power supply. So what do we have? We have one fuse holder, probably 4 big diodes here, bolt kind of diodes. These capacitors are like we did see on the previous PCB, the PCB before, in a plastic sleeve with epoxy seal at the back at the end. All here for fitting a transformer. And what do we have in this? Let me undo real quick the 4 screws. You can see the box is in very nice condition here. Looks like new almost. And really straightforward. Fuse holder, bridge rectifier, inductor here in a capacitor shape, in a transformer shape, so big coil, transformer, and as I said before, yes, just 3 wires connected on this connector. DB9 connector, golden contacts, then capacitors, and it is also a really simple linear power supply. I wonder, probably maybe the ground is actually the case, and it is why they have only 3 wires, because For a linear power supply, usually you want at least alternative current input on the 2 wires for the output. Or maybe we have a common ground which should be quite weird. Yes, this is definitely grounded, but it is coming here. So yes, it must be this, one input wire and one output on common ground. Quite unusual. Okay, so I will put this back together, and now we will remove all the high frequency modules. Okay, so one thing, if you encounter this kind of connectors, you have to unscrew the bigger ring, because the smaller one is actually for taking apart the cable from the connector. Good to know. So we have a quite modular construction in here, which reminds me very much Soviet electronics, oddly enough, this kind of boxes. I hope, yes, there is a connector down here, so if I do not forget to remove one of the screws, it should be possible to pull this box. Yes, like so. So first one removed. It will be interesting to have a look inside. It is quite filthy here at the bottom. So on the other side I will remove the bigger unit. Then I will, off camera, I will undo the other ones because they will be a little bit more tricky to access. So for this bigger unit there is one coax here, probably going to a splitter between transmit and receive, switcher or whatever you call it, because you don't want the high power transmit signal go into the low power receiver side of the circuit. This should be quite bad. And here I have 2 longer screws. Let me deal with it. Actually much longer than expected. It is this one here. Okay. Long screw here with one lost washer. Other one here, and this box should come off. Pretty complicated shape, by the way. Okay. So this should come off. Excuse me, it is a little bit awkward, but not easy. Okay. I did already unsolder a few wires in preparation of the teardown, so it is why you have loose wires in this area. It is totally normal. So here is our power module. Nice. And now I need to undo this smaller stuff inside here, and I will be right back. Okay, we will start with the little parts and finish with the bigger ones. So there is this box here with a plus 20 volt power supply input. Under this cover here I guess we might have 2 transistors. Yes, they are socketed like so. Not very strongly socketed in fact, but there is a cover to keep them in place anyway. And we have these trimming parts, which are probably adjustable capacitors, I guess. So we will find out. Sorry for the reflections, it is very shiny and it will fool a little bit my camera. White balance and white compensation, as you can see, a little bit messed up. So here is what we have inside. So it is interesting to note when you remove the cover, these 2 parts come loose, and we have a bunch of air mount components. Germanium diode here probably, capacitors, and yes, adjustable coils matching these screws at the other side, and one quartz also. So it is all what we have in this. Okay, next one. So the next one, actually we have not much to see because it is completely sealed in grey Amerton paint. As you can see, it is called a unidirectional line with a serial number here, input output, and a nice arrow. So very nice looking part, but some RF voodoo happening in it, but we cannot see anything. It is completely sealed. I am checking if we have any magnet action. Does not look like we have magnets. So beautiful piece, but sadly it will keep its secrets. Next one, this one, the bigger silver box. We have 4 connectors on it, just written with numbers, and at the bottom a number of screws with some trimming screws in the middle, so I believe we might have tuning cavities inside this. So I am checking if it is possible to undo all the screws and have a look. Yes, they are easy to remove, so let's do it. Okay, I guess all the screws are off. Maybe, in fact, maybe no. Maybe this part is coming off, this side, but here we are still attached, so maybe I will also need to undo these 2 ones here. And yes, it should come off unless we have stuff inside which is still attached. Well, you will say if I do not remove completely the screw, it cannot work also. So first I will do this, and I can see stuff inside totally, but maybe it is a very close fit, in fact, very tight fit. It is possible. So I hope I will be able to install this. By the way, I am totally ruining the thing. One more screw to do. And what do we have? Okay. As you can see, I will not be able to remove it completely because there is a piece soldered in this. But we have what must be adjustable capacitors into these holes here, these things you will screw in and out, and it will tune. And it looks like here we have, look at this, will you see it here? It looks very much like some high frequency diode. So I'm going to check if it is possible. Yes. Made by Thomson CSF, and it is high frequency diode, probably with beryllium in this middle part, so it is why I do not touch it. And I will try to install it, and it will be a pain. Yes, totally. Okay, but you get the idea. Tuning cavities. So let's go to the next part. So next part is this one, the one we did see earlier, and very similar to the smaller one here. As you can see, a lot of transistors and sockets. 2N1141. socketed like so, completely shielded. So we have 8 screws. I will try to undo the bottom ones. No, they will not come off. Okay, it means we have standoffs inside and you need to access from the top. And it means I need to access one screw under this cover. Here we are. So, what do we have in here? Oh, by the way, the screw was totally loose. I guess this one also. Quite weird. You can see a number of all the white things here are Teflon insulators. We have some test points also with the pink insulators. And very serious shielding, as you can see. It is silver plated, so it is becoming more or less black. We have a springy high frequency insulator here, and here is what we have inside. So as you can see, a number of similar stages, each one actually connected to the next one here. Each time we have one transistor, one adjustable coil, and capacitors and resistors, and between each one of the stages we have what seems to be 3 connections. Yes, plus the ground. So here 1, 2, 3. This one might be the power supply, because we have a smoothing capacitor here, and this inductor should be to remove any high frequency noise induced and keep a clean power supply. So I guess it may be this. And the other ones will be for transmitting the signal, probably here, and this may be a setting, because we have actually a potentiometer here. You can adjust something, and we have a direct wire link each time. So they are all receiving the same signal, all the stages. But here we are serialized, and we modify the signal each time, as far as I can understand, or amplify, or whatever. But not sure where it is coming in fact. Probably here. Oh yes. In fact, yes, if it is coming in, let's say it is a receiver. I have no clue, but let's say it is a receiver. We have more settings here. The signal is first filtered here, and each time here goes into all these stages, and of course this one should be the last one. It is why we have no more connection going here to the next one, according to what I guess. I might be totally wrong, but it is interesting. Yes, we have only one coax input on this thing. We have things are labeled with video, but no video we know today. It means over something else. Detector, and lots of adjustments for trimming frequencies probably. So must be the receiver thing. Okay, so I will put this back together, and we will have a look at the last but most interesting unit. Okay, so we have this thing made obviously of 4 sections. We have the main connector here, which goes in this sealed glass pass-through input. here we have a screw which is actually a setting you can adjust more or less, and you can access through the front panel through a hole in the front panel which is covered by a little plastic cap. We have 4 sections here. We'll have bolts to undo here. I didn't solder the wires here. So first we will have a look at the end piece here. So this is silver coated aluminium. This was soldered in here, like so, yes. So, what do we have in here? We have a rubber seal. And we have this. Interesting. 3 little things. With this springy contact, silver coated contact thing here, which is matching another one inside here. And it does totally look like the tip of a big vacuum tube. So for now I will not reinstall this part. We will have a look at the inside here. If I find tool. So I need to undo the plate here to access one bolt, sadly. Over one here. And the two must be 6 or 7 millimeters bolts here. So I hope I will be able to do this in a convenient way. This and this. So let's open the thing. Yes, it is 6 millimeters. So I will need a flat wrench for the other one here. But for now, it is possible to do this one. At least I have a video for reinstalling the parts if I get confused. Okay. Second one here. So just 1 second. It will be very fast. Okay. So I believe I am able to pull this part. Maybe. No. I am not able because there is one more screw. Okay, here we are. And here we are. And here we are. So we have some more springy contact thing. As you can see, here is what we have inside. Interesting. And here we have some, so first the part at the back here seems completely sealed and not possible to access. It seems to be potted. Yes, so it is not necessary to cut these wires here because I will not access anything. But here we have some Teflon tape with this. I will remove and replace by Captain probably. Covering some parts, which are these ones. So, do we have here a high voltage step-up converter? Maybe. Because as you can see, these caps are rated 3000 volts. These caps here are 600 volts by Sprague. Very nice quality also. And resistors in series, so it must be making some high voltage for the vacuum tube in here. So maybe we have some toroidal transformer here at the base or something like this. A step up transformer or something of this kind. Okay, so this is interesting. But now we are left with this. Okay, so time to check what we have in this thing. As you can see, we have nuts on the side, but they are quick release things. If I can loosen them a little bit, these bolts, I will be able to rotate the whole thing and it will get out of the way. Maybe it is enough already. No. They are not that easy to turn. Almost. And I have to do it 2 or 3 more times. Let me loosen first the other ones. So there is this one. Quite annoying, this thing. In fact, there is no screw slot, so you cannot. I think you have to go until you hit the wall here, and then maybe you can flip them. You should be able to flip them. You must be able to flip them. Let's undo the last one first, and there is this wire in the way. Very exciting, as you can see. So this one is almost coming already, but the 2 other ones, or maybe they are just stuck with some whoop. They will not rotate. I hope I do not need to undo completely the nuts. Oh, it is coming, it's starting to come off, and I am stuck. Very nice. Yes, I need to loosen more. So I will be right back. Okay, we are a few minutes later, and at least they did come off. So let's pop this thing open, and it reveals nothing here at all. And I was not expecting this. This is a little bit loose. What do we have? It is a power vacuum tube, it seems, so you must be able to undo it. So tell me it was not necessary to do all this, and in fact you can just pull this part here. No, I can see the tube inside. It is quite a shame. Maybe I have a screw here, I do not know what it is going in, so maybe I need to undo this screw. Let's first try this. Okay, it must be going in this piece here, totally. So let's try to access this side. I have 1 loose silver coated screw, 2 loose silver coated screw, and Teflon isolators, interesting, and not much else to do, sorry. It looks like this will not come off, maybe. In fact we are spring loaded in here. Is it a screw piece? Maybe. Yes. Yes, this is interesting. Oops. So we have spring, we have insulator. I do not know where it comes from. Yes, it is from the screw here, okay. And at least we have the vacuum tube. So here is its socket, kind of. And we have here a Raytheon. I will zoom in for you. Raytheon, made in USA. Here is the model number ML7855K. Matclet, also a famous brand of transmitting tubes. Some spacer here, and probably here beryllium ceramics. So how many contacts do we have? We have 1, 2, 3 contacts, it seems, on this thing. Yes. So at least we are at the core of the device. So I believe you are transmitting your high frequency signal in here, and it is capacitively coupled here to the tube, to this contact of the tube, if I am not, of this one. Interesting. It is RF voodoo anyway, so I cannot exactly tell what is happening in here, but at least we are at the core of the device. And now I am left with a few things to put back together. In the same time I will try to edit and upload this video. So thanks for watching. I hope you did enjoy this teardown of a vintage French made IFF transceiver, and see you soon back. Bye bye.